At some point, we've all had to make a presentation, especially as a student, employee, or business owner. You open PowerPoint or Canva, tell yourself it'll only take an hour, and suddenly it's midnight and you're still adjusting fonts and layouts instead of thinking about the message within the presentation. In this video, I'll walk you through how to create a beautifully designed, insight-led presentation in under 10 minutes using AI correctly, saving you significant time while delivering slides that are visually refined and genuinely informative. You'll also learn how to transform your notes in apps like Gmail, Notion, or GitHub into a beautifully structured presentation with just a few single prompts. So to begin, a great presentation has three core elements: insights, story structure, and then intentional design. And so first, let's start with insight generation, which is generating the right information for an informative, engaging presentation. If you already have the content ready to transform into a presentation, you can just skip to the next step in the timestamp below. And we'll start right here with Claude and set the model to the latest Sonnet model right here. For this example, let's say I'm creating a presentation for work, showing the full life cycle of a tech product. First, let's tell Claude what you're trying to understand and not what you're trying to create. So in this case, I have my prompt here, which is I want to understand the full life cycle of a modern consumer tech product from idea to long-term outcome. I'm not mentioning slides, layouts, or presentations at all yet. I'm just trying to ask AI to help me think clearly about the topic. We'll also ask for a structured breakdown. So this is how it looks like. Break this into clear, distinct stages. For each stage, explain what typically happens, the main goals and constraints, common mistakes, and the signals that indicate it's time to move to the next stage. Finally, I add guardrails. I'll tell Claude, prioritize clarity and insight over completeness, avoid generic startup advice and unnecessary jargon, make it easy to understand. And then I finally ask for synthesis at the end. End with a concise summary explaining why most tech products fail and where successful products behave differently. So hit enter, and this will then force Claude to form a point of view instead of just listing facts. So once you run this prompt within Claude as a 5-step formula, again, that's number 1, understanding, number 2, structure, number 3, analyze, number 4, guardrails, then number 5, synthesis. You now have a strong foundation of insights that we can now build a presentation from. Next is the story structure, and this is where most AI presentations fall apart because people either dump research straight into slides or they ask AI to summarize and create a presentation, which usually turns into AI slop. Instead, we're going to take your research and content and ask Claude to turn it into a presentation outline first. This will be the difference between a passable and a great presentation. To create the story structure, we'll use a simple 3-step prompt in Claude. The first is outline, and this is I'm preparing a presentation for the general public. I want to lead with a visually beautiful presentation. I want to help educate, etc. The next segment of the prompt is the context. This part helps refine Claude's output and dials it in. So for example, this presentation is for external stakeholders and the public. The goal is to help educate and turn a complex journey into an easily understandable topic. Then, just like before, the third segment is guardrails. We end with guardrails, so Claude doesn't go off the rails. So in this case, I am adding start with a visual overview of the entire journey. Each slide should focus on each stage. Limit each slide to a short title and 2 to 4 supporting points. You get the point. Once you hit enter, we get the output here and a neat presentation just like that. And then next is the fun part, designing the presentation. At this point, Claude is where all the thinking has happened. Now Gamma is where these ideas become polished presentations. Gamma is the bridge between the AI reasoning and the real presentation output. So you can look at Claude as the one helping you think, and Gamma helps you show it. So we're going to do this simply by prompting Claude to create with Gamma, then click enter. And just like that, Gamma has created a presentation ready to go. Let's click into it and take a look. So as you can see here, Gamma has taken the context that we've come up with and created it into a very visually appealing slide deck. And overall, I am quite impressed with this as it is, considering that it's created this all by itself. But within here in Gamma, you can customize it further if you'd like, quite quickly too, actually. So the easiest way to do this is using agents. So using the AI agent, we can quickly use it to change slides. So let's say in the first slide, make the first slide more visually appealing. Let's use that prompt and see what comes up with. So you can see the difference here. And beyond that, we can also add cards with AI. So you can ask, let's say future predictions and click enter. And just based off that single prompt, it will add slides for you. So here you can see that it's taken the context of the slides around it and created an additional slide. Another thing that you can do as well is smart diagrams, which I find very useful. So these charts, you can literally add a chart depending on the context again of what the slide is talking about. So let's just add a random slide here. So you can see that depending if there's data in that slide or the context of that slide, it can add an illustration via a chart. And so all of these are really powerful tools where you can immediately add graphs, add images, add more context. And then once you're happy with it, click the dots here and you can export either by PDF. You can also share the link directly or even collaborate with others in this tool. Now, the best part of working with Claude and Gamma together is being able to think and refine both the content and presentation together on the fly. So for example, if we go back to Claude here and say, we're building upon our content and want to ask which tech companies have created the most successful tech product cycle and how. So I like the output that Claude has given us, and I'm going to now add it to the previous outline script and generate an updated presentation. So I'm just going to do that with this prompt here, combine the case study with the previous outline script and generate an updated presentation and hit enter. So you can see here that it's taken the previous slides and added additional context with some case studies of Windows and Office down here. If we scroll down, you can see the companies that got it right, Apple, Amazon, Google, etc. So that is the power of Gamma and Claude. It removes the biggest friction in AI workflows today, which is losing momentum between thinking and creating. Now, what if you want to instantly create presentations from existing documents or notes? That's where connectors come in handy. Connectors allow Claude to reference other apps and services with Gamma to create custom presentations based on notes or files outside of Claude. So to enable this, just go into the sidebar here and go into settings, and then scroll down to connectors right here and connect the relevant apps that you want connected. So with these connected, this is how we'll turn a Gmail email into a presentation or even a GitHub repository or README file into project overview decks instantly. So it's really quite useful, and let me show you. So with Google Calendar connected, let's go back out and ask Claude, help find the calendar invite about the team offsite. Hit enter. So it's immediately found it. It's pulled up all the details of it. And honestly, all I'm gonna say is create with Gamma. Hit enter. And once again, it will take that information right here and create a really beautiful presentation with Gamma so I can send it out to the team. And just like that, it's created a presentation deck, which I'll open up and show you real quick. But you can see the power of just pulling in different documents and instantly creating a beautiful presentation where now I can just simply send this directly to the team, and it is a much more visual representation that I can attach to the email that I will send out. If you found this useful and made it to the end of this video, drop a like and comment the code word GAMMA so I know you've watched till the end. And if you also like AI and tech content, make sure to sub for more. If you want to learn more, I recommend checking out this video right here about agentic AI. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.